Hello, guys. I hope you all are doing well. I am pretty sure now you've just guessed the topic from the thumbnail and from your title that I had been giving there. Because, yes, I really wanted to discuss with you people which NCERT or whether it's old or new or how much time to give to NCERT or why is NCERT important. Should we actually refer to NCERT? Is it that favorable in your exam and everything? To be very, very honest, when I started with this journey for preparing all of these the exams and everything, I did not even know what was NCERT because I was from the ICSE board, the ISC board, and there was nothing called NCERT in that phase, and wasn't that much of a current affair or a the awareness student that you have who would just know about anything that's not even concerned with the subject or the syllabus. So yeah, when I started preparing, it took me like 2 months to complete NCERT, just one subject. Yeah, let me clear this out. So the problem is that if we are doing NCERT, if we are referring to NCERT, then my issue was that if I started with NCERT of say history and I take 2 months to complete just NCERT of history, and I am giving a year of my preparation to UPSC, how do I suffice with the rest of the syllabus? That was my doubt. That was my question to myself because, if I started preparing maybe in July in 2018, I was just not done with NCERT up to 2018 September, because the sole point wasn't that NCERTs is so easy or anything like that. The whole point was that it is boring too. Like, just getting away with things and sources and just knowing about everything is pretty pathetic. And for people who really cannot just focus on the books and books and books and just get, piled up with so much of work pending, gets these issues. So I really wanted to confront a lot of people, and trust me, when I was preparing, I really couldn't have any genuine place to put up my doubts and queries and just get the reciprocation. So I really want to discuss over this video about everything, every small doubt, and a beautiful strategy that we can use to inculcate a better analysis of ourselves in this syllabus and everything, because the whole point at the end is that we need to complete everything. Even I heard a lot from those people at that point of time when I was asking for recommendations whether NCERT should be read or not, that yes, NCERT is important, it's important and everything like that. So that way, if you just go with this small strategy, and trust me, this is not a I would say a tough strategy. But yeah, at the end, a disclaimer that this is not some expert advice or anything. This is just my viewpoint that I'm sharing because I really feel that yes, this has worked me somewhere at the end, and this can also help you that way. So yeah, and mostly, like, overall, the career of UPSC is not just about that if you clear it once, you are a dedicated student. Then a lot of people might be just smarter than the cleared students who are just in the journey of preparation. So let's begin this video and look into it. So like I said, it took me 2 months to complete just history. So I'm here with this. Like, see, if you look at the history contents class 6, you have what, where, how, when, hunting, the earliest cities, the books and the burials, the kingdoms, the questions, the ideas. Now they come to Ashoka. They come to again traders, kings, and pilgrims and everything. So, when you look at the NCERT, the first disadvantage that I found for just following NCERT was that things just change in their own manner. You do not have an accord or a record that you can follow. It's like, see, this is class 7, and you have Delhi Sultans here, you have Mughal Empire, and then you have rulers, buildings, you have tribes again, and then you have devotional paths to the divine. So this bhakti comes in the medieval age, but these Delhi Sultans also come in the medieval age, but the year gap is too much, and then there's so much to be there in between. Like, see, for example, we've completed our 18th century political formations video, right? So now if you look at this video, this NCERT thing, you will find that there are things which are important. I'm not saying that things that are not important or something like that, but what you'll find eventually is that not everything that you're spending time on is required, that not everything that you are going through or you're just reading is required or is important. Like, see, you have questions there, you have answers there, and everything like that. You have the chapters. So when you're going through them, that's good. But the point is that if it's taking you so much of time, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? That's the whole point. And moreover, like for instance, if you have 2 years, 3 years down the line before you crack for UPSC or try for that, you can still go for it. You can still go for things like that, that yes, you want to do NCRTs really nicely. But what about for people like me who are just going it for 1 year or half a year maybe? So yeah, this is important. See, like for example, you have a question: how were the Sikhs organized in the 18th century? Now, this is another strategy that you can follow. Like, if you want to read NCRTs, like if you are starting from today that no, I want to go and give my attempt for UPSC 2021. Is it smart enough for you to just start with NCRTs now? No. I would say no, no, no. Then what do we do? How do we go about it? What do we do to just not spend our time over NCRTs but at least get all the things out from it? See, NCRTs form the base. NCRTs, this is something that everybody has been saying, and this is something that I've yes felt also, because it gives you a direction as to what to study. Because yes, UPSC has been asking you questions, but the point is that whatever UPSC asks, if there is a prelims question, like you have three options, and the first option might be something which is relevant, significant to NCRTs, but what about the rest? That's the whole point. You cannot just spend a month, 2 months on NCRTs and then go for professional books. I'll come to that too in this very video about what to do with the professional books and everything. And a beautiful strategy that I really feel that yes, it's working for me, because last time when I gave the exam, I realized that I got so lost in just reading, completing the syllabus. Not even syllabus. What people focus on is the sources. You either you should be reading NCERT, or you should be reading professional books, or what chapters or something like that. But the whole point is that your direction is being deviated. What you need to focus on is on the syllabus, on the contents of the syllabus, what they're asking you to study, not how to study. That was the whole point that I did not get cleared about at that point of time. I don't know whether this strategy implies beautifully or not, but right now, yes, it's working for me, and I would really want that you guys try for yourself, so that you also know that whether it's working or not, especially for people who actually do not have a lot of time to give to UPSC, but it's not that UPSC is not a priority for them. So yeah, look into it. What to do, how to do is fine, but spending a whole good quality time over just NCRTs and then coming back to it, I don't think that you would get enough time to come back and revise for it. Because once you're doing NCRT differently, then you're separately going for your professional books that you have, and after that you come back to revision. You have to look at the question papers, you have to look at a lot of things, you have to look at the mains answers, you have to look at the factors and everything. How are you supposed to do it? And that is why I really want that yes, if it's a one topic thing, if you're doing 18th century, give it time, like give it 2 days, give it 1 day, give it a week maybe, but at least come out with something. What NCRTs made me do is it got me lost into things. You know how, like, you're just reading, I do not even realize what am I reading. One day I am going through Mughals, and the very next chapter is about tribals. Like, how do I connect with what the things were or how things favored? So that's very important that you do. So one thing that you can really do is, like, when you're talking about a topic or you're studying over a topic, like we did in our Mughal India video that we've already have in the channel uploaded. See, you have Mughals in unit 4 of class 7. So what you can do is, when you're starting with the Mughals, like if you have to start from modern India, before that you need to know the ending of the medieval one, or you need to just know the decline of the Mughals before you enter into the 18th century and everything like that. So yes, while doing that, when you're looking over the Mughal Empire, you can just go through all of the things that have been there. As in, when you look over the class 12 book, you will find again there's an agrarian society and the Mughal Empire. So this is like what? Another point of view over Mughals only. So why not just go with one topic? You have Mughals, you have the Mughal Empire, you have all the chapters jotted down from whatever Mughal Empire, wherever this section is. Now, even if it's taking you 2 days, something, in that phase, you're just realizing everything. You're knowing about your question papers, you're knowing about your syllabus, and you're knowing about how important, how relevant is Mughals into this, is Mughals into the syllabus and everything. The same, it's also there in chapter 10. A very small portion is there about the Jagirdars and all of the things that have been there in the question paper. So instead of going through chapter wise, today I'll be completing chapters class 6 or class 7 or class 8. Why not go according to the topic wise? Because that way we are really completing our syllabus. I think this would have been a best ever strategy that somebody might have told me at that point of time. I don't know what are the disadvantage to it. Definitely if I find any, I will do share it with you people, that too, because yes, we do need to know our weaknesses, our strengths, and accordingly work towards the things that give us good insights. So yes, instead of wasting our time over things which are not required, we can really go about working with this and in this manner, so that we in the end enhance our way of studying. And obviously, see, NCERTs is something that has to be there, and if you just miss it out, that would be a biggest mistake that you're ever doing. And the second strategy that could be useful in our preparation is, see, you have back questions in NCERT in all of the classes thing that you have. So for example, we are taking this is class 8, I think chapter 3 or something. So now what we have here is, see, describe the main features of the permanent settlement. All the settlements are there, jaradari and permanent and everything like that. So refer to the back questions instead of going through the chapters, because now if you have main features of the permanent settlement, what are you doing? You're writing the main features. Along with that, you're just jotting down the jagirdari also. If not jotting down, you're at least mentally preparing yourself over the features of the jagirdari system and ijaradari system and any other system that's there. How is the mahalwari system different from the permanent settlement? See, your mind is again framing into the differences that is there. How do you differentiate between these? When we just read, you will find that when you are going through the chapter, you're in the middle of it, you'll find that your mind has just diverted. So if you write answers like this, that might just help you, because you have all of these things jotted down, and accordingly, you've just made a point wise thing, and you can just come back to these and then revise. And now if I have written features of permanent settlement supposedly, so now if I want revise the Mahalwari system features or anything like that, I can just come back. I'll at least know that yes, it's in class 8, third chapter, and accordingly I can proceed. So this is one beautiful way of knowing how and what is there in that chapter instead of just going through the chapter. And then coming to a lot of things like your professional books. See, one thing that I have here is Modern India Bipin Chandra, which is like very relevant, and a lot of people tell you to just go through this or anything like that. But here I'll share with you my experience over what all books we have, and accordingly what all should be there and how things go. So I have this Bipin Chandra book. If you go through this, you will find that a lot of your portions, a lot of your majority of things have been covered. So when you're reading this, like for instance, you are reading 18th century chapter that we've already discussed according to this book. So what you're doing is, you read that chapter, you have your NCERTs. If you are to study today morning, what you do is, at the night you decide what are you to study. You collect all your resources into the table, and you know how I keep my table, that I have everything there, so that I have no excuses to just get up and move out. So you keep everything there, and accordingly, the next morning you start preparing for this. So for history, if we have, there's something called S. Palyan, the Insights IAS Academy releases that, and I think this is also very favorable if you want to go through this. And you have Spectrum, like a lot of people talk about, and they keep telling you that that's good for revision, that's good for revision, that's good for revision. And you have Modern India by Bipin Chandra. These are the professional books that you can refer to, and with that you have your NCERTs obviously. So now you have 6 books, 5 books in your hand. I am just counting NCERT as a book, not even a variety of books that they provide. So imagine now you have 6 books, you have time to study, go through them, all of them together, you can go through them. But what if you have to revise now? You have to come back to these books now and just know what to do, what not to do. That is the whole point. So what you do is, take out a copy. If you are going through an 18th century chapter, see, you have one book in hand. See, Spectrum is good for you because this gives you all the questions, like all the points of the topic point wise. If you have one topic, very briefly in a crisp manner they have put it down. S. Balian, I think, was relevant and important because they bring out all the minor information that modern India Bipin Chandra might just not provide you. So, and I am challenging you. Once you read a topic from Spectrum and S. Balia simultaneously, first of all, you're remembering good portions. You don't even have to mug it up. The second point that I'm saying you is that after that, if you read Bipin Chandra just after, consecutively after the Spectrum and this S. Balian, you will find that Bipin Chandra is like a revision, and what S. Balian and Spectrum is providing you, Bipin Chandra is nothing as compared to them. So, yeah, it's important, but never at the cost of your time. So just make sure that if you have 18th century topic that you're reading, you have all these simultaneously opened in front of you. You have decided what all chapters are there from NCERT that covers 18th century part. Like you have the chapter 10 that we have discussed about that video, so I don't want to start with that over again. So yeah, this way you can strategize your thing, and now if you have 2 days of time, you can go through all of these together, compile your small notes, whatever you need to remember. If you think that there's some big portion that you do not have to write it down because that's just wasting your time, you can just write it in your copy that refer this or this page from Bipin Chandra or from Spectrum or from S. Balian and accordingly proceed. And please, if you do not have these things, don't go on buying, refer to the PDF versions, because I'll tell you, not everything you need to have it mugged up and everything. So if you have the PDF version, you can jot down the main points and just let these books go, so that these doesn't fill up your bookshelves and then make you panic that, oh my god, I have to study so much. So I think instead of just reading first NCERTs, then going through this book, then this book, then this book, go simultaneously with all of it, have it all written in one copy, and so when you come back to revision, you just have one copy to refer to and you are done with your history. It will take time, but not as time consuming as only NCERTs would. And trust me, when you come out with all of these, you at least know that one of your topic is completed. And then what you can do is you can look at the question papers and realize if you've already completed Mughals. If there's any question regarding Mughals, you will start answering that question, and you're not just depending on your NCERT to complete and accordingly proceed. So this was it with today's video, guys. I really wanted to confront you people with all of these topics, because please do not waste your time over just going through NCERTs first and then coming to this. The whole objective is that you have to bring your resources down to so crisp and short and cute, like people say, that you do not have to refer or face around a lot of things. And history I chose because history is something that does not change with current affairs, so this is a syllabus that you can complete at the earliest. And a lot of people find problems with history because social studies is not everyone's cup of tea, and it's boring too for a lot of people. So yeah, if you think that this helps you, please try this, and do let me know if you find any mistake or any disadvantages thing from this, because yes, that would also help me in further improvising the strategy. But I think this would help you at the best, because if you give a month, this time your month is not just over NCERTs, your month is for the whole of history, or maybe 2 months even if you take, it's at least giving you a better output. We meet next on Friday. Thanks for watching.